Faith is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the tangible and the intangible. It is the force that carries us through the darkest nights and the longest storms. When the world whispers doubt, faith speaks with a voice that cannot be silenced. It reminds us that what we hope for is not just a dream but a certainty waiting to be unveiled. Faith is not about sight, it is about trust. It is about believing in the promises of God even when our circumstances seem to tell a different story. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." This verse is a beacon of light for those walking through valleys of uncertainty. It tells us that faith is not wishful thinking, it is not a vague hope or a fleeting desire. Faith is substantial, it has weight, it has power. It is the very evidence of what we cannot yet touch but what we know to be true in our souls. Faith is the unshakable foundation upon which miracles are built. Think about a time in your life when you stood at the edge of uncertainty. Maybe you faced a financial crisis, a devastating diagnosis, the loss of someone you loved deeply. Maybe you felt like you were drowning in fear, surrounded by waves of doubt and despair, but something deep within you whispered to hold on, to believe. When everything in you wanted to give up, you chose to trust, you chose faith, and somehow in ways you could not explain, doors opened, solutions appeared, strength arose from within you that you never knew you had. That is the power of faith. Faith is what kept Noah building the ark when there was no sign of rain. Faith is what carried Abraham up the mountain when he was asked to sacrifice his son. Faith is what led Moses to stand before the Red Sea with an army behind him and nothing but God's promise before him. Faith is what made David face Goliath with nothing but a sling and a few stones. It is what made the walls of Jericho crumble at the sound of trumpets. Faith is not passive, it is not weak. Faith is bold. Faith moves mountains. Faith defies logic. Faith changes everything. Yet faith is not easy because it demands surrender. It asks us to let go of control, to walk forward even when we do not see the road ahead. It requires us to trust in God's timing even when the waiting feels unbearable, to believe in His goodness even when our hearts are breaking. Faith is terrifying and exhilarating all at once. It is the leap into the unknown with the assurance that we will land exactly where we are meant to be. In moments of fear, when the voices of doubt are the loudest, when the weight of the world presses heavily on your shoulders, remember that faith is your anchor, faith is your shield, faith is your weapon against the darkness, because faith is not just about receiving blessings, it is about enduring trials. It is about standing firm in the face of adversity, knowing that God's promises are truer than our fears. There will be moments when your faith will be tested, when the enemy will whisper lies, when the pain will feel unbearable, but those are the moments when faith must rise, when you must declare that even in the storm, even in the valley, even in the waiting, you will trust in the one who has never failed you before. Faith is the evidence of things not seen, and sometimes what is unseen is not just the answer to your prayers but the strength within you that you did not know was there. Faith reveals who we are, it exposes our weaknesses, but it also magnifies our resilience. It is the fire that refines us, the force that transforms us, and the power that carries us to the destiny God has prepared for us. If you are in a place right now where doubt is louder than faith, where fear feels stronger than hope, I want you to know that you are not alone, you are not forgotten, you are not forsaken. God is with you. His plans for you are good, His promises are true, and your faith, even the size of a mustard seed, is enough to move mountains. Let this be the moment you choose faith. Let this be the day you refuse to be ruled by fear. Hold on to the substance of what you hope for. Cling to the evidence of what you cannot yet see, because your breakthrough, your miracle, your victory is closer than you think. God is working even now, even in the silence, even in the darkness. Faith is the key that unlocks the impossible. If this message has touched you, if it has stirred something within your heart, I invite you to be part of this journey of truth, hope, and inspiration. Subscribe to Shining Truths and let us walk this path of faith together, because we are not meant to walk alone. We are meant to stand together, to lift one another up, and to remind each other that faith is the greatest force in this world, and it is the foundation of a life fully lived.